Congress has agreed to say goodbye to nearly 24 A10 Warthogs after politicians vigorously protected the aged aircraft and halted the Air Force from retiring. Lawmakers finally decided to retire A-10s after decades of use. So which will be the new attack plane for the USA? Here at Military Intelligence, let's analyze which attack plane is better. The wingspan of this close support plane is 57 feet 6 inches, and it has been in service since the 1970s. Its 30mm Gatling-style cannon made a distinctive brrrt sound, earning it a devoted following among service members and Washington lawmakers who have fiercely preserved it from retirement. The gun was also instrumental in the First Gulf War and has since seen extensive use in Iraq and Afghanistan. However, 21 A-10s from the Indiana Air National Guard's 122nd Fighter Wing will be retired and transported to the Davis-Monthan Air Force Base Boneyard in Tucson, Arizona, as part of the new defense budget agreement, which the House passed on Thursday and is anticipated to pass the Senate soon. The A-10 program has gone through divestments and retirements before, according to Dan Grazier, a senior policy fellow at the Project on Government Oversight, a nonpartisan nonprofit watchdog group, in an interview. This occurred primarily after the Gulf War in the 1990s. He predicted that the first A-10s would be retired in the 21st century under the terms of the 2023 National Defense Authorization Act agreement. According to prior reports, the 122nd Fighter Wing will be switching out their A-10s for F-16 Fighting Falcons. It was in 2010 that a particular wing of the Air National Guard began flying the A-10 Warthog, replacing older types of the F-16 that had been used there. Although the A-10's enthusiasm didn't last long in the Indiana Air National Guard, the service's dedication to the weapon did. After noting that the Air Force confronts a substantial difficulty in maintaining A-10 readiness, in a letter to then Air Force Secretary Heather Wilson in 2018, U.S. Senator Todd Young, R. Indiana, added that the Fort Wayne community would gladly welcome the return of F-16s. In an electronic message, Young expressed his satisfaction that Congress is finally making it a reality. The 122nd Fighter Wing of the Indiana Air National Guard will be better prepared for future battles and a more competitive candidate for the Air Force's future basing decisions of the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter, thanks to provisions in the fiscal year 2023 National Defense Authorization Act. A significant about-face has occurred with the decision to retire 21 A-10s. The Air Force requested the retirement of 42 A-10s in the 2022 Annual Military Policy Bill, but Congress rejected the proposal last year. The Project on Government Oversight reports that since 2014, Congress has intervened at least 5 times to save the A-10 by including provisions in the NDAA that either forbid the Air Force from retiring the aircraft or approved initiatives to keep it in the skies. The Air Force has officially said that the A-10, nicknamed the Tank in the Sky, would be of little use in a conflict with a country like China due to the aircraft's poor speed. Legislators may be coming on to gradually retire the aged A-10. Still, the fate of the remaining 260 in the service's fleet remains uncertain. Air Force Secretary Frank Kendall and Air Force Chief of Staff General Charles C.Q. Brown Jr. appeared to imply in July that the United States would provide Ukraine with older aircraft, including the A-10, to aid in the evacuation of Russian forces from Ukrainian territory. However, not even Ukrainian authorities showed any enthusiasm for the A-10 Warthog. Ukraine's Defense Ministry advisor Yuri Sak told sources in July that it wouldn't be helpful in the country's conflict with Russia. "They will not close our sky. They will not halt bombers and rockets," Sak said of the A-10s. "We can provide adequate cover for them, and we can penetrate the enemy's air defenses, so Russian jet fighters will be targeting them." According to the sources, retired Air Force Lieutenant General Dave Deptula, dean of the nonprofit Mitchell Institute for Aerospace Studies, told the publication on Friday that lawmakers should take Ukraine's open disinterest in the A-10 as a sign that more modern aircraft are capable of performing the same close air support mission. Deptula noted that the A-10 is almost 40 years old, bordering on 50 in terms of design. The A-10's capabilities have been surpassed by more modern aircraft that are safer, more efficient, and more lethal. There would be a clear message if the Ukrainians rejected it. The AT-802U Sky Warden, co-developed by L3 Harris Technologies and Air Tractor, was officially chosen by USSOCOM for the Armed Overwatch program. L3 Harris said in a press statement on Monday that it had been awarded an IDIQ contract with the maximum value of $3 billion. The first contract award for the program totals $170 million. Only Texas-based Air Tractor specializes in producing agricultural planes such as crop dusters and firefighting planes. The Sky Warden will be manufactured in the beginning by Air Tractor in Olney. After that, commencing in 2023, L3 Harris will begin converting those planes at its Tulsa, Oklahoma facility into the Armed Overwatch mission configuration. Greenville, Rockwall, and Waco, Texas, as well as Nashville, Tennessee, are all listed as locations where L3 Harris plans to conduct its operations. The Armed Overwatch program at the Air Force Special Operations Command intends to create a fleet of up to 75 adaptable, fixed-wing aircraft that can be deployed to austere sites with minimal logistical support. In its role as AFSOC's Armed Overwatch plane, SOCOM envisions the single-engine Sky Warden performing close air support, precision strike, and armed intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance missions in support of terrorist operations and irregular warfare. Lieutenant General Jim Slife, the head of AFSOC, expressed optimism last year that the organization's new Armed Overwatch planes will be able to exert pressure on extremist groups in regions like Africa, where airspace is mostly uncontested. As the Air Force switched its major focus and some of its most sophisticated and expensive to operate fighters and bombers away from attacking terrorist groups and violent extremist organizations in locations like the Middle East, it took steps to build a series of Armed Overwatch planes. In a press release, SOCOM Commander General Richard Clark said, "Armed Overwatch answers a fundamental need for U.S. Special Missions Command to perform a wide spectrum of operations globally in support of the National Defense Strategy. To protect our special operations soldiers on the ground, this tough, sustainable platform will operate in permissive environments and severe conditions around the world." SOCOM said the plane would be cheap, capable of taking off and landing in harsh terrain, capable of long flights, and able to carry a wide range of modular payloads. SOCOM plans to begin testing later this year, and L3 Harris has promised that it will move quickly to convert its prototype aircraft to the production configuration. In the first batch of inexpensive aircraft production, 6 planes will be shipped out. L3 Harris would supply training systems, mission planning systems, support equipment, spares, and logistical support as part of the deal. According to SOCOM, the Sky Warden will have IOC in the fiscal year 2026 and full operational capabilities in 2029. Defense News' air warfare reporter is Stephen Losey. Formerly, he covered the Pentagon, special operations, and air warfare, and before that, he wrote for Air Force Times, where he focused on leadership and personnel issues. He is covering U.S. Air Force operations in the Middle East from there. That's all for the video today. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more military intelligence.